in the series, when we see different journals like this, you know, fans have scoured over these pages, they've looked at these scribbles, they've tried to imagine what they might say, but for the most part, it's scribbles, right? And either it's canon that the author has just terrible handwriting, or he's actually illiterate and has never told anybody, he's just doing this to make it look like he's an author. But it turns out that that's just shorthand for what's really in the journal. So here's some sample pages. I'll give you an example here. I know everyone always wanted to know what it said in the leprechaun page. Let me do a little reading for you. Leprechaun. A disappointment to unicorn enthusiasts and leprechaun hunters alike. These giggling freaks of nature are found near rainbows and boxes of sugary cereal with colorful marshmallow shapes. I was standing in a nearby field searching for four-leaf clovers using a luck experiment when I encountered this specimen. He said, "Top of the morning to ya!" He proceeded to chew on my sideburns and giggle. I picked him up by the horn and threw him as far as I could, but shot it right back. Specs, their horns are musical and play a constant loop of Danny Boy. It's very irritating. Gold coins fell out of his beard. I pocketed a few, but later discovered they were plastic. Everything about this creature is frustrating. I shudder to think how such a horrific being came into this world, although for the record, I will state that actual unicorns are just as annoying. So there will be, for every page you have ever seen canonically in the series, you will have the actual canon of what happened in that moment. You will also have, they're not just randomly thrown along, it's the entire history of the author's journey in Gravity Falls. Coming to town, learning about it, searching for it, his mission, him bringing Fiddleford McGucket to come work with him, the adventures they went on back and forth, they were cranky old men and were cranky young men. We learned a little bit more about Fiddleford. He was a very sweet, kind, charming, naive young man. Got really messed up when he saw the Mysteries of the Universe, all of which we will learn about. And it also covers some mysteries about Bill Cipher that up until now.
Mysteries of Bill Cipher.
Here's the Bill Cipher page, but I will say that you learn why there are red splatters on the page. When we read it, I see people taking out like telescopes trying to see. This journal will also have Dipper's notes in it, as you may recall. In the first episode, Dipper starts flipping through and starts writing on his own. So we get both the author's secret history of Gravity Falls, we get Dipper's sort of notes between adventures about aftermaths of episodes and things wedged in between. You might have wondered what was the deal with Dipper clones number 3 and 4. You might have wondered what the deal is with Love Potion, how long does it last? Hey, what really happened to Giffany? There are answers.
The secret of Giffany.
This journal, let me see, let me look one more page here.
What about the black light?
Gnomes! I encountered my first gnome when I woke in the morning and found it arguing politics with a stuffed bear head above my fireplace. They show themselves incredibly capable of an alarming ability to combine their squishy little bodies into huge, terrifying formations, so keeping my snacks on higher shelves has done nothing to stop the persistent nibbling. Another gnome stole my glasses and ate 2 of my cassette tapes, which was written in the 80s. Cassette tapes. Typical size of the common gnome ranges from 10 to 18 inches. This includes the hats. I must see what's under that blasted hat. Do they have pointy heads, etc.? It's going to be, how many pages is this? About 280.
What's notes doing?
It's going to be dope, it's going to blow your minds. I hope you guys like it.
Just to point out, we definitely couldn't ever create this without, obviously, the help of Alex and the folks who are working on the show. But I can't stress to you how much of Alex has gone into this.
There will be beard hairs in every single one. I'm sorry.
And I think you're going to be blown away when you get a chance to see some of the stuff that we've seen from him and his end. it's amazing.
So that'll be pretty cool. I feel like I also wanna show you guys a little bit from the upcoming episode.
Secret clip, you say?
Or if you have, tell your friends, spread around. Monday's episode is a game-changing episode. It's a real big one. If you have friends who like the show, you might want to hang out and watch the episode together for camaraderie and comfort.
Oh no!
It's gonna be intense. I will say that this episode concerns something which is very important to Dipper, which is Dipper's kind of wish. One of his many wishes has been he wants to grow up, and he wants people to take him seriously for once. He found this journal of this mysterious cool dude who knew everything and went everywhere, and the adults he knows in his world are lame. Those don't stand, do the dishes. And so, Dipper's always wanted to grow up, and he's wanted to be at least 13, at least technically a teen. Mabel is excited about everything that happens to her, no matter when it happens. She's like, yeah, 13, yeah, 12, yeah, a million, whatever, I love it. But in the planning of their birthday, some new revelations come to light, and some interesting things happen that shake the Gravity Falls universe. So, let me speak here. All right, the future.
What's in the folder called the future? In another folder called the future's coming. The future's almost here. Just give me the future a minute. Almost there. Okay, here's the future.
No. Internet history is just pictures of cabbages. Hundreds of high-res, it's super weird. Okay, alright, perfect. Alright, let's go together.
Morning, Dipper! Guess who? Oh, what joy. It isn't Mr. Upside Downington. How long's it been? Third grade, maybe?
Well, it's mine, and I'm here to deliver you an upside down fantastic message.
Is it the message that we're getting too old for this sort of thing?
Kind of, actually. Instead, you're exactly 1 week away from our 13th birthday!
Oh, our birthday's coming up already? Soon we're gonna be actual teenagers!
Finally, I can stop reading preteen magazines and start reading post-preteen magazines.
And the 13 movies? Here I come!
And just 1 more year until high school. High school, Dipper! Where girls become women and they teach us stuff about... You know what?
Geometry?
Oh, yeah!
In 1 week, my senior citizen ponytail kid's coming in the mail.
Yeah. Aww.
I'm kind of going through some things.
Oh.
Grandma's finally letting me eat crackers on my bed. The future is coming for us all, dudes. The future!
The future!
I'm sorry, I can't take you seriously with that face on your chin.
What face, Dipper?
You're doing the voice, so you obviously know what I'm talking
I
about.
don't know what you're talking about.
There's something wrong with you.
There's something wrong with both of us.
Okay, you're ready for the future.
So, Grunkle Stan's going through some kind of identity crisis. Will the new Grunkle Stan have a cool ponytail for the rest of the series? The mystery everyone wants answered. That's the question that hangs in the balance. So yeah, I mean, basically, that's the cold open of the episode. We can see that they are turning 13. We can see that it seems super cool. I remember when I was 12 on the cusp of 13, and then my mom said, "Hey, are you a tween now?" I said, "Never use that word, Mom." No one knows what that word means. I don't know where it came from. Let's put it to bed. Let's let that word die. A graceful death. I mean, that's a little kind of taste of the journal that's coming up. That's a little look at the episode that's coming up. The main reason I love doing these conventions and I like to come out to this kind of stuff is, like, I mainly just want to be able to, like, talk to you guys. Like, when I created this show, I never made a television show before, and I had no idea. The only thing I ever done is I worked on a TV show called Flapjack at Cartoon Network. Flapjack, voiced by Thurman Orman, who's also Lil Gideon. The sweetest character on our show, the most evil character on another show. And he was actually my boss. He was the first boss of my first job I ever had. And I was just in the hallways. I would just hear like, like, just like, I'd be like, this is a kid work day? What is that? Oh, hi, boss. Hi. Hey, Thurman. I would make you a character on my show one day. But back in those days, I feel like a fossil talking about it, but like the internet sort of response to kids' cartoons, it was a completely different environment. Like, you had, 10 people drawing it on DeviantArt, maybe. You had Toonzone forums where one guy would be like, I missed the episode, did anyone see it? Like, after the episode. After an episode of Flapjack, we would like rush to the computers and see like nothing. And it wasn't because the show wasn't loved, it was, but there just wasn't really there wasn't like an interconnected global fan network there wasn't a place where people reviewed kids shows, there wasn't a place where people like kept up with them. And so I had no idea. I assumed it would be the same for Gravity Falls. I was so wrong. Everything has changed thanks to, Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, social media. The whole landscape is different now, and now I can be in a room like this with people dressed as things I once drew on a bar napkin as a joke. It's like my drawing's alive now. It's super weird, but it's super cool. That's kind of like, I just want to bask in this delight for as long as I can. That's the main reason I feel like I could sort of, noodle around with like little vague details about things we're up to, but I'd love to just open this thing up and answer as many of your questions as I can, given the fact I gotta mention this. I have to mention this. I've probably done
Doesn't look like I'm gonna ask any questions.
7 or 8 panels by now, and every single time I do, I always say before the Q&A, hey, I can't answer spoiler questions. And everyone's like, hey, I got it. Anyway, first question, what's the end of the series? How does it end? Not spoiler, but like exactly what happens though. I was like, what I said before about spoilers, and they kind of shrug and walk back to the seat. So, that's gonna happen probably. But we'll see, maybe this time it won't. Just to clarify, what the spoiler question is, just like what exactly happens in the future. I can't tell you that because nobody will watch the show. That's why you.
It's such a shame. I had so many good questions.
But beyond that, I'd love to be as answerable as I can and ask me anything. That's why I'm here. So let's start with you in the front there with the bumblebee.
Hi. So obviously this is amazing, and I would never watch Disney before this show. So this is the only Disney show I actually watched.
Thank you. Welcome.
And I'm wondering, for the next season, how much Pacifica and Dipper moments are we gonna get?
So does that fall in what I can say is I can't talk about anything currently existing season right now. That's all that lives in the purview of talkable stuff at the moment. I would say regarding Dipper Pacifica, it was a huge surprise to us when we did season 1, and we regrouped as writers. We said, okay, what are our own notes? Because we watched the show, we're fans, and then we're like, what did we love? What was less great? And we're like, man, Pacifica was just the worst in season 1, wasn't she? She was just insufferable. And then one of us came up with the crazy idea, like, okay, instead of having her get eaten by like a giant bat, what if we made her like a character you care about? And we're like, that's impossible. She's so mean and horrible. There's no way we could get a single person to care about Pacifica. We're like, no, it's a channel. Let's do this. let's give it a try. We're gonna make an episode where we go to her house and we learn a little bit about her, and it's a roll of the dice, and we have no idea if people will actually respond or not. Like all experiments, you go in with a hypothesis, and then you wait for an answer. The problem is, with television, like, hypotheses, you only discover the results like a year after you write them, you know what I mean? So like, you wrote the episode, like, maybe people care about Pacific, and then like, everyone's like, you love Pacifica. The show is Pacifica Falls, starring Pacifica. May Pacifica and Pacifica live on Pacifica Island. I don't know, 9 out of the 10 words you just said. So I mean, like, we are so happy that it worked, that Pacifica is now like loved as a character, but like we were a little taken off guard by this. I will say that you know, in the aftermath of this episode, like there is now, where there was only pure hate, there is now a tiny crack in the door open of friendship between Pacifica and the Pines twins. Which nobody ever would have seen coming. You know, Pacifica has not forgotten the events of Northwest Band Mystery. She's confused to feel emotion other than hate for these kids, and they're confused to feel emotion other than hate for her. We will absolutely see her again, but I can't be more specific than that. So, we will see. Please just define what the word shipping means, because I don't know what that means.
Putting two characters together that don't belong together.
So how do I feel about other people drawing characters together? Is that the question?
That don't go together.
I mean, here's the thing, like the internet, like I went to art school, right? So like, art school is like, on your first day, like you see someone like naked on roller skates, like bombing on you. Like, it's like, welcome to art school. Like that's the world of an artist. So like, when you're an art person and you go onto the internet, it's just like, oh, like I'm visiting like the zoo. Like, look at these crazy things behind bars. Like, this is nuts. Behold this bizarre shit with this crazy face. Like, it doesn't. People are always like, oh, I need to know what you think. What do you think, creator? I'm like, it's just a carnival. Wow, whatever. Like, I'm not invested in the things that fans invent. Like, I love that fans invent stuff, but like, it's not related to my show, you know? So like, it's not like I see something and I'm like, how dare you? How dare you? Characters. I don't care. Like, whatever, they're cartoons. Like, similarly, it's not like I see one and I'm like, the forbidden law has come to pass. Only these two, only game, and only Waddles. Maybe Waddles OTP for life. Like, that doesn't happen. So like, I mean, the answer to your question is like, I receive all of this stimulus with the same like amused, like, well, that was weird attitude. You know what I mean? Like, I will say it's sort of bizarre as a show creator, because like I grew up in the 90s, and so like we had Rugrats, and we had Doug. And after an episode of Rugrats, you'd be like, that was neat. But like, it wasn't like, is Chucky Finster going to marry Tommy Pickles? Oh my god, that matters so much to me. Like, so like, this is awesome, but it's like totally outside of my realm of experience, you know, like, this is what the future is like. We are living in it right now, the future is coming for us all, so I think they're all equally crazy and whatever, and like, I will say, like, people do come to me and they're like, can you condemn this shit? I'm like, it's not about me, it's about you guys. Like, you can play with your toys and have fun and whatever, because like, at the end of the day, like, people love drawings and they love cartoons, but like, I do sometimes feel like there's like kids online who don't understand like what fiction is. Like, it's an expression of ideas, and like when a character says like when a character's in an episode, they're like, that character, this is a call-out post for you. Understand? I'm like, he's fictional. What's he gonna do? See your call-out post and be like, you were right. I was slightly meaner this week. What happened? common viewers watching a video of this later. Hi. Reblog, the guy up above, whatever.
My favorite characters are the Grunkle twins. And I love
Grunt Bros.
Yes. Old men together. And I also love Seuss and his relationship with Uncle Stan. And I'm wondering, is that relationship coming from somewhere? Like, do you feel like you might be Seuss? You have a Uncle Stan in your life.
Yeah.
How will a new Grunkle affect your life?
Everyone's searching for their Grunkle senpai. Here's the thing, I think if you ask any TV show creator who's like really personally invested in this show or came up with a lot of the characters themselves, like they will tell you that like every character is them. You know what I mean? Like I am definitely, obviously, Dipper Dale inspired by me and my twin sister. Like, I'm Dipper because I was obsessed with like conspiracy theories as a kid, but I'm also Mabel because I'm a loudmouth goofball. And I'm also Grunkle Stan because when I'm tired, I just want to be a jerk. And I'm also Seuss because sometimes I geek out about stuff, you know what I mean? And I'm also Waddles because sometimes I just lie on the floor and eat crumbs, you know? Like, I am all those characters, you know what I mean? So I can definitely relate to all of them. There is an interesting thing that happens though. I thank you for bringing it up. Another thing, just to bring back art school. You know, at the end of each year, I went to a school called Powers in California, animation school, and every year you make a film and you put them all up in the show, and everyone's like, oh, my film's about pirates, my film's about dragons, these are wacky, imaginative things, and then you see the film and it's just about, like, even though it's starring a dragon, it's a dragon who can't come up with an idea for a film, he's got student loans to pay, or, like, everyone's weird subconscious stuff comes out through their art, like, whether they intended or not. Like, I kind of realized that like I was working through some daddy issues with the show. Like, my dad called me up, he's like, yeah, I saw that episode of Lost Mabel, and there's a scene where the Gremlin looks himself in the mirror, it's his greatest fear, and he says, I've become my father. What's that about? And I was like, oh, nothing, Pops. And then like, oh gosh. Yeah, I guess the show is kind of therapy in a way. Like you do kind of work through stuff, you know? Like, I think, you know, like the entire sort of aspect of, you know, Dipper Mabel is me and my sister growing up, like having a twin is like having a best friend, and also an arch enemy, like it's this person who's always around, you know what I mean? And sometimes you get along great and other times you drive each other crazy. To specifically get to Seuss and Stan, hey, Seuss is inspired by my friend from college, a guy named Jesus Chambreau. He was a lovely and strange human being, and like he was a pal. He was actually me, him, Penn Ward, Creative Adventure Time, Adam we all in my freshman year were in little cubicles next to each other, working on our student films together. And like he would be at the pencil test machine, just being like, guys, I broke the pencil test machine, but I can fix it. Guys, I fixed it, but I broke something else. Okay, I broke 2 more things. I'll be back in 5 if anyone wants a Del Taco. I love this man, I want to put him in my show. There's definitely a fatherly relationship between Seuss and Stan. I mean, as you guys saw in playing this game, Seuss is a guy who never really had a big family, and Stan, as we learned in Tale of Two Stans, is a guy who had an awful relationship with his own family. You know, never really got that family life, and so they both kind of found each other accidentally. And I imagine probably in the first week of having this little kid work for him, Stan, you know, even though he acted like a gruff jerk, was secretly happy to kind of have someone who looked up to him for once in his life. And Seuss was happy to have someone who would listen to him and tell him what to do, some kind of father figure. And even though Stan is the worst possible father figure, his heart's in the right place. And Seuss is somebody who only sees your heart. He sees the best in everyone. I really am happy we were able to explore a little bit of Seuss and Stan's relationship. And we will see kind of more about sort of what Stan means to Seuss and what being in Gravity Falls means to Seuss as the season progresses. Thank you.
So we say recently I found out that you, some time ago, went on 4chan and posted a fake leak image.
Oh yeah, that was a couple years ago.
How did you come up with the idea for such a wonderfully cruel crime?
Well, I'll tell you. So, that actually, I'll tell you exactly how I can talk about it, because episodes that come out, you guys know all the secrets. So, basically, we knew from the get-go, everyone has sort of seen the episode, so I can spoil things people have seen. So, we knew from the get-go, when we started the show, we knew a couple things for dead certain. We knew who's the author of the Eternals. We know the author of the Eternals is Uncle Stan's secret brother, whom he had a spat with many years ago and is away, far away, and we knew all these pieces. I mean, that's the secret, and that's why it says Stanley will be on his license plate, because his real name is Stanley. Like, from the very first episode, we knew all that. We wanted to be sneaky about it. We were putting little tiny hints. Problem is, people like way smarter than me. Everyone figured it out right quick. You know, like I said, I grew up watching TV in the 90s, and it used to be before the massive hyper-brain of the internet that a show like, you know, Twin Peaks or whatever, or, you know, The Simpsons, or Who Shot Mr. Burns, they could put out a big mystery, and, you know, an individual in their home would be like, oh, there's a lot of clues, that's confusing, and then like one person would be like, oh, put it together. Now that put it together guy has like an air horn, everybody, I solved it, and so like, if one person knows, everyone knows. So like, I do think that we were pretty subtle with our clues, but the moment one person figured it out, it started to spread. So it was near the end of season 1 that I saw the first post. All right, everybody, here's the thing, Uncle Stan's got a secret twin, solved it. Crap! They're on to us! And we had a choice at that point. You know, somebody said, well, geez, I mean, they figured it out, should we just change the whole backstory? And I was like, no, I love that story. That's a story about our characters. We have a choice, you know, between making the story we set out to make or just flipping it upside down and be like contrarian, like, haha, fooled ya. But we are contrarians, we do like fooling people, so we figured to have our cake and eat it too. We're like, let's see if we can try to create a little bit of a leak. Let's see if we can try to fake out that maybe McGuck is the author, because we teased that at the beginning of season 1. You know, one of our writers, Josh Morrison, actually worked on The Simpsons on the Who Shot Mr. Burns episode, and they were so secretive that they animated like 3 different fake endings to that just in case they leaked. They were prepared for it, and I was like, what's the modern equivalent of what they did back then? 4chan. So, yeah, no, that's exactly it. I mean, it's just like we were all having lunch, eating sandwiches, and it popped into our heads like, I'll bet in about an hour and a half we can make it convincing. Like, all right, Joe, you do the sketches, Ian, you pick the background, all right, Kevin, the editor, put up some time code that's fake, it doesn't mean anything. Snap, snap, all right. Put on a hazmat suit, hold my nose going into 4chan. And just like type like, hey, I don't know what sort of Disney, I saw that spoiler question mark. Right. And then I was like, all right, let's hang on Tumblr, let's keep refreshing until somebody reblogs it. And it took about 3 minutes. And then I went on Twitter, tweeted, viewing right now, counted to 10, deleted it. You know, again, as I was saying before, like, everything is an experiment. You're just like, my hypothesis, it worked so well, so fast. And it was interesting because at first everyone was like, oh, like people were like tweeting me like, you know, I'm so sorry that you spoiled your show. You worked so hard. Like there were people like, guys, somewhere Alex Hirsch is sobbing in his office. Stand by the fans, never reblog that. And I'm like, all right, this has gotten out of hand. But I'm in my bed now, I got a line that I've got about a year until I can reveal the truth. So finally, as soon as it was time and McGuck had been revealed to not be the author, there was a convention where I like came out and I was like, all right, everyone, it was a trick, and like, at first everyone was like, that was really funny, that's great, you trolled us, you troll. That's the word we use to describe the prank. And then like, sort of over time, it became like, I'd be like, all right, everybody, the next episode is on Monday at 9, and they're like, you're trolling us again, master of information. Dark Lord, we don't believe your lies. Like, oh, that's what this is going to be now. Because I don't tweet false information. Like, I want people to know what's like coming as best I can. Like, I want, like, that was a weird, isolated incident for our one big secret, you know what I mean? Like, but no one will ever believe me for the rest of my life. I know, I probably should start doing more pranks, because, like, I already now have this reputation, but, like, I genuinely do want people to, like, everything I do is literally just to try to increase enjoyment. Like, I'll see people will tweet me like, "You drink our tears, you love our suffering. You and Rebecca Sugar are dancing in our blood." And I'm just like, Rebecca, what are they talking about? She's like, "Let's just stay away from this." Like, everything we do is for you guys to have a great time. Like, it's the literal opposite. Like, I know it's like a weird meme joke, but like literally, like everything we do is to try to make an enjoyable show. Like, when I tried that fake out, it was like, oh, it bums me out that some people are going to know beforehand. Well, maybe if there's a credible alternate theory, you'll be surprised with just a couple of people. Like, I'm trying to create surprise. You know what I mean? Like, everything is to maximize enjoyment. So, yeah, I mean, that's what that was. You know what I mean? Like, it was fun. I have no regrets, but I do now know that, like, there's always going to be, like, that one guy who's like, "Hey, you want enjoy saying that guy, have fun." So yeah, that's the best.
You have won the internet. That was the best ever.
What was that?
You have won the internet.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Hi, I'm Randy. Do you do like that Marvel thing where like you have writers, you and a bunch of writers are like writing different episodes where you have to like rip it up, not tell your family about it. And we know that Justin Roiland was on your show as Blendon. I want to know how did it feel for you to go to his show and do a voice for that?
Sure, yeah. So Justin Roiland, the creator of Rick and Morty, is a friend of mine. We weirdly enough met at Disney on a show called Hirsch a long time ago. And they were having me do some writing for them, and they said, "Who would you like to work with? We have a list of people." And one of them was Justin Roiland. I've been a fan of his because I knew his weird, horrible, offensive, insane work from the internet. And I was like, yeah, I want to meet with this guy. And me and Justin became buddies, and we dreamed about having our own TV shows one day. And we would talk about our stupid ideas and how we'd love to hide secret messages and mess with people and stuff. And then, like, through a weird twist of fate, like, we both found, like, the same, like, cursed Satan monkey paw, and we just got a television show, like, around the same time. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. We can do voices on each other's shows. It's always fun having him on as Blendon. I mean, he's basically doing a toned-down lemon grab, like a less graded version of it. He asked me to do a voice on his show. It was just like, cool guy, you know what I mean? Like, it's super fun. Like, I feel really grateful that I work with a lot of people who, like, I know that, like, I always imagine, when I was a kid, I tried to imagine, like, what's it like in business? Like, I always imagine this, like, really cutthroat world where, like, all the shows are competing with each other and, like, following each other's ratings and, like, just like, toast to the failure of my rivals. And, like, that's what executives are like, absolutely. But, like, we're all friends. Like, it's, as you guys know, like, you only know so many people in your life who love cartoons, like, as much as you do. And, like, other people making shows, like, fellow artists are those people. So, like, I always find it's better to be friends than to be rivals, you know what I mean? Because, like, you're all gonna be working with each other one day, you know what I mean? So it's like, get to know each other. Like, some of the coolest people I've met are people who love cartoons. So it's been super fun. Glad you enjoyed both.
Thank you.
What's up? It's the author of the journal. My brother. Awesome costume, by the way.
Thank you. Okay, I just want to say thank you guys for the show. It's amazing. It's like my life. I'm sure a lot of people in here can say the same. I was wondering, in the last naval porn, when Dipper puts this machine called the mind reader, it's supposed to block it out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. When he puts it on Drunk before his head, one of the things it says on the screen is, I miss Dimension 52. What is Dimension 52? And what does it happen?
That's a great, kind questions for promoting the journal that's going to be on sale. That question will be answered in the journal, but I can't say more about it now.
Woo! Sandy, one more with the PPP.
Hi guys. Just want to thank you real quick for asking for my partner and I hiked 1,300 miles in the Appalachian Trail, and I brought a couple talismans with me. One of them is this hat. It went through the whole way, and I just want to thank you for creating an inspiring character like Dipper to push people to do something unexpected when they wouldn't normally do it.
That's amazing. You hiked how much of a trail?
1,300 miles.
1,300 miles for Grand Dipper?
Yeah.
That's amazing. You know the joke that Dipper wants to become. Like, isn't that clip being like, I'm growing up, like he wants to be trekking thousands of miles in that hat? That's amazing.
Thank you. So one of the things you talked about our hikes, we have plenty of time. What our dream Gravity Falls Disneyland ride would be. I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
My thoughts. It's, you know, I wish there was something like, when I go to California Adventure, I see like the mill, and I'm like, who cares about you? Just slap a sign on that. It's a mystery shack. Like, how hard would it be? Like, there could be an Oregon corner in California Adventure. Why not? You know, it's like the northern tip of California. Like, my dream, oh man, I've thought about this. I would love it. I really have. Gosh, I would do anything for there to be a ride. First of all, I just want there to be the mystery shack. And to me, what would be so cool about that is it's like the mystery shack is the most like awful, price gouging, annoying, long-lasting place on earth. So like Disney doesn't have to worry about crowd control. Like they can jack up the prices. Like it's funny. I want them to have a $50 keychain that you can buy if you hate yourself. I would want there to be like a Grunkle stand there. Like, hey man, I would shave the beard and I would dress up as Grunkle Stan. I would do whatever. I would just stand in a smokehouse until I aged 50 years. It's like I want there to be a mystery shack. Like I want them to like go full Imagineer on it, like pump the smell of like pine needles and sunscreen in, like you feel like it's summer. You know what I mean? Like have a campfire smell, like make it a 4D experience. You know what I mean? Like I want there at least to be a gift shop. Ideally, I imagine some kind of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride / roller coaster thing, you know, where you're going through the forest, you go, under a waterfall, you got gnomes chasing you, you got Bill Cipher on your tail, golf cart, you know what I mean? In the perfect world, it would be some kind of golf cart adventure with Dipper made dodging multiple weird monsters you've seen in the show, winding up in the gift shop and being demanded to go back again and stand in line with no refunds. I think it would be amazing. We could just let some mosquitoes loose in there, really make it feel like you're there. You know what I mean? That would be my dream. That would be awesome if Disney had the same dream one day, but that's up to them. So we shall see. Anything's possible, I suppose. Thank you. It's an honor to meet with my niece. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Two questions. They're not long, I promise. I want to hold up.
I'll try to start answering quicker too. Sorry.
Okay. So my first question is, what advice would you have for somebody who can't really animate well or draw but wants to be a TV producer when they grow up?
What would I say to someone who can't animate or draw but wants to work in TV when they grow up?
Yes.
Become a writer.
To get their attention,
I think, for me, I discovered real quick in art school that I was not the best craftsman, and I was not the best animator, and I gave it 100%, I gave it my best effort, and I love animation, I love drawing, but, you kind of discover through guessing tests and trying different things, what your most passionate area is, what you have slightly more unique aptitude for. and I discovered that I loved writing. And so, like, on a show like Gravity Falls, we have a team of writers, we have editors, we have musicians, we have producers, we have coordinators. Like, there's a whole army of people that aren't artists working for us. So there's many different places in television for someone who doesn't draw. If you want to get into writing, like, the thing is, like, start immediately. Like, go online, like, look for scripts. Like, look for scripts of shows you like script-driven shows. Like, you can find some of them online, and we've been even posting Gravity Falls script. We'll post one soon so you can see an example of what our writing format looks like. And just, like, start writing your own. Like, get used to, like, the rhythm of television. Like, write. And show your friends and ask them to critique you, and just, like, start pestering people in the business. I say I came in through the art side and then became a writer, so I don't know the exact pathway to start cold as a writer, but the number one thing to do is write a lot. So that would be my advice. Thank you.
This is a really stupid question.
I'll answer a really stupid way.
But you're going to be doing autographing later?
Yes, that's not stupid. Yes, I am. What's the story with the autographs?
So at 3 p.m. at booth 2028 upstairs, Alex is going to be signing copies of It Was a Mabel Guide. So if you guys want to swing by there, it is wristbanded, and I know we're doing some ways this morning, but I believe there's still some more time. So booth 2028, 3 p.m. See you all there.
2028, 3 p.m.
I know I'll be there.
At booth 2028. Thank you for asking us to. That's important information.
Alright, we're going into the lightning round here because I see a lot of people, and I'm going to start answering. I'm going to stop saying, back in art school. I'm going to answer quickly, okay? So let's get started.
Alright, so I was going to say hi.
Hi.
I love the show. And so my question is, like, you're really good. I really like so I wanted to see, like, you do, like, a bunch of voices, like 5 voices that I can remember off the top of my head. And you do some of the animation, some of the script writing. How do you do it? Like, it must be exhausting.
Yes. The short answer is, it is very exhausting. Probably if you ever make your own show, try to do less because then you don't see your friends ever. But I love cartoons, so I want to make it as good as I can, and that's why I do what I do, but it is exhausting. Thank you.
Hi Alex, I'm actually a really big fan, but I think everyone in this room probably is. And my question is, can you make like more Gravity Falls merchandise? Like maybe a real plushie?
Oh my gosh, I'll say you're like, unfortunately, I only have power over the show itself. The company at large decides when and where there's merchandise, what it looks like when it comes out, how much it costs, and then they kind of tell me. They say, hey, a toy's coming out. I'm like, cool, thanks. So I don't have any control over this. If I was the dictator that y'all imagined me to be, like, there would be a season 1 DVD with, like, crazy special features out right now. I desperately want this stuff, and it's all, like, they decide how much they think things will cost, if they can, whatever. So I really hope there's more merchandise. I hope, like, I want to own a Bill plush. I want really, like, nice action figures and characters. Like, I want, like, 10 games. Like, we'll see. I hope so.
And one more thing, I don't know if you can do this or not, but my friend Alice here, it's her birthday today, and she really loves your character Seuss, and I want you to sing happy birthday to her.
How much are you willing to pay?
All right, this one goes out to my verified question. Alice? Like the Wonderland Alice? Alice, this song just been entered public domain, so I can sing it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Alice Cooper. You're my best friend, Mr. Happy birthday to you. Seuss 2015!
Thanks so much for singing her friend. She really liked that. Okay, so my question is about the show. When Dipper and Mabel go home, are we ever going to see what their life is like back in California?
Yeah.
I can't answer that question, I'm sorry.
I warned you!
Hi, Alex.
What's up?
So, you were talking about monsters, and well, everyone loves Bill. I've personally counted upwards of 25 of that angry, hovering corn shit.
That welfare spinoff, everyone loves Bill.
I was wondering, besides Bill, who was your favorite monster, and why?
My favorite monster in the series?
Yeah.
Gosh, I loved every monster for a different reason. I mean, I really like how horrifying the shapeshifter was. In Into the Bunker, we got Mark Hamill to do that, and it's cool to get work when you get to have like Luke Skywalker terrifying Mabel. Like it's just fun. So, Ocean Rick 10 minutes. Okay, we gotta go into super lightning round. So that's your answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Hey, happy birthday again.
And this is my question. So, back in 2012, when you first started the Gravity Falls series, did you imagine it to rocket ship as like some of the biggest fandom on the internet?
I had no idea. I was not prepared. And like honestly, making cartoon shows is so hard. Like I was really wiped out. Like honestly, was not even sure if I was going to do a second season. When I was halfway through season 1, I'm like, this is hard. I want to do something else. And then all this. And you guys are why the show kept going. So thank you. So I really appreciate it.
And thank you so much for saving the game, Zeus.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Excuse me. How was Bill created?
How was Bill created? You mean like in my mind or in the canon of the show? I just blew your mind, didn't I? I just learned that canon is just a nebulous concept that exists between my ears that changes on an hourly basis. I'll say Bill was created. He's one of the characters I had in my head from the very beginning of the series. I always thought it would be funny to take the triangle from the back of the dollar bill, it's Bill, and just give him arms and legs and top hat like this. I just like there's so many conspiracy theorists out there who like every time like Beyonce like gives a thumbs up and like sort of look like a triangle, it's illuminated, and I'm like, there's someone out there. I'm just gonna make them miserable. I'm gonna just cram an actual terrifying triangle into the show and see what happens. So, I mean, the origin of Bill is sort of to annoy the guy people were saying, which if Bill were here today, he would be very happy. Thank you. Next question.
My name is Daniel, and in sock opera, Bill said he hasn't felt pain in a very long time. Was Bill ever a human?
Bill has possessed humans before. Bill himself didn't come from a human form. Bill is much weirder and much older than humanity itself. That's all I can say about that.
Okay, thank you.
I was wondering what your favorite and least favorite joke from the show is.
Favorite and least favorite joke? Gosh, I mean, oh jeez, that's such a hard question. I like, one of my favorite jokes is Inconveniencing, where Stan is watching this old-time television show. Any possibly long, confusing name. Like, I don't remember what I was thinking when I wrote that, but I was like, I want to write something to trip up the voice actor, and then I ended up doing it. It was, now to turn to The Duchess Approves, starring Silly Simpleburgess as the Duchess, and Brendan St. Comfort Travel as Rascal Cox Swain, sons of Buckingham Shire. It's not even a joke, it's just like what if names were stupid, that's the joke. And then like least favorite joke. I mean, like, Grunkle Stan makes horrible, corny jokes all the time. Like in the one of our first episodes, he like tells like a bumper sticker dad joke, like my ex-wife's doing this with me. Like that's like meant to be like the worst joke. But now I have like, and the thing is like that's not a joke. Like we didn't come up with that joke. Like that's a joke you can find on like a bumper sticker in like a bait and tackle store. Like it's just like a boring old man dad joke. Like, and now I have like two little like 6-year-old girls that come up to me like, my ex-wife's doing this with me. You can understand what that is. Like, it's really adorable. Like, I love it. But like that joke was meant to be a terrible joke. But I'm glad that people loved it for its terribleness. Thank you. Alright, we're like in mad lightning round mode, so like I'm gonna just go super fast. Make it all as quick as we can.
So there's a game called Nuclear Throne, and there's a character called YV, Young Venus, I believe, and a lot of people compare him to Bill Cipher. Do you know anything about that? How do you feel about they're triangle, they look exactly the same except he's white.
Never heard of it, I'll Google it. Thank you.
Okay.
So there's so many things I love about the show, but one of my favorite things is the memorable characters, and I was wondering if you had any writing tips for how to write lovable characters.
My lightning round answer to that is that reality is much stranger than fiction. A lot of the characters are based on quirky people that I knew in my life. I feel like if your characters are based on an observation, they'll have a grounding in reality, and that will make them more lovable. So I'd say just follow everyone you know around with a camcorder and write down stupid things.
Hey Alex, for 2 years I've dedicated my life to this book, and I made all the pages and even the invisible ink, and I want to give it to you. Is that okay?
Whoa! I mean, if you're about taking something amazing that you've made, wouldn't you prefer to have this yourself? All right, let's get it. Bring it on. Thank you so much. Guys, look at how amazing this is. It's an actual, the whole thing, every page in a apparently black ink. I will tweet my review. 5 stars. I gotta move quick. What's the next question? Thank you again.
Hi, my name is Ella. And I was thinking, is Bill have a brother, or is he working with someone?
Bill, let me put it this way. If you think Grunkle Stan's relationship with his family is bad, Bill's is worse. That's all I can say about that. In terms of is Bill working with someone, Bill has friends. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Do you ever see Shirley or Mabel's, different Mabel's parents like in the future?
I mean, the scope of the series is always meant to be about what it's like at summer, you know what I mean? You want the kids' sort of home life to be intentionally mysterious just because it's not a show about Piedmont, California. 94611, that's where I grew up, so that's where the kids are from also. So, I mean, we do try to be purposely vague about the parents. I can't say more about it than that, so we'll just have to wait. Thank you.
So my 2 favorite shows are Rick and Morty and Gravity Falls.
Good taste.
And something that you and your creator of the show were planning, a secret code among the three shows. I don't remember the third one. But I heard that thing got canceled. Do you mind saying what it was?
I'm gonna leave that to Justin to say what it was, because he was kind of the ringleader of that crazy circus. I'll ask him if he can mention it in his next interview. Thank you.
Okay, so I've been a fan of Gravity Falls ever since the first episode. So what was your favorite episode?
Oh man, that's so hard. I mean, like, you know, when you make a TV show, like, you're always giving it 100%, but you're making like all the episodes kind of at once. So it's kind of mad. Actually, there's like definitely episodes where I'm like, I love it. And there's episodes like, I never want to see that one again. To me. Like, you know, you give 100% to everything, but like I said, like people sort of imagine that people on TV are like, just like, I press the button and it is so. Like, we're experimenting, we're guessing and testing, you know? We're making stuff up. So, like there's some I love, there's some I'm less crazy about. I mean, I don't think I have a favorite because there's so many that I really do like a lot. I would say that I do have a soft spot for the time traveler's pig because it was my twin sister's dream growing up to have a pet pig, and then she realized like it's hard to live with a pig. Like you can't really have it in your apartment. But I was like, I can sort of give her a pig through the show. I can kind of make her dream come true by giving Mabel a pet pig. So like Waddles belongs to Mabel, but he like honorarily belongs to my sister. So like that's one of my favorite episodes because like that was like a childhood dream come true, you know. You told me all the time for one more question. I'm so sorry for those of you waiting in line, but we have some mysterious dark plague doctor here is come to ask me a question. What do we got? Last question.
Hello, and this is my first panel, and I'm very, very scared. So, I just picked this up right now, this question. Did you ever picture making any other series during, before, or after making Gravity Falls?
Yeah. When I came to Disney, I've actually pitched three shows. One was about like old-timey gentlemen in the 1800s. One was about time travel and dolphins, and one was called Gravity Falls. The other two were bad. I'm glad Disney didn't pick them up. But I absolutely yes. I have a number of different projects that I would love to get a chance to share with the world if that chance comes up. I'll say there'll probably never be a show that I make that has quite the same kind of vibe as Gravity Falls. I feel like this is my version of a kid's show. If I make another TV show, it'll probably be more like PG-13 kind of things because I've seen so much weird stuff in the adult world that I want to make fun of too. But that's all I can say about that. Hey guys, thank you so much.